I just want to go through the instructional procedures of how you're going to complete each of these checkpoints here on the different um, case studies. So I'll use Ted Bundy's case study as an example. So what you'll see when you open it up, there'll be a brief little bit of lecture notes that you can, if you choose to, you can view the PowerPoint video of the PowerPoint that I recorded, so you can listen to me, or you can read through the different slides here to learn about Ted Bundy and his background, the crimes that he committed, and that sort of thing. When you have completed that, the next assignment within this checkpoint will be a set of focus notes that you will do using a YouTube documentary. So on this particular video, you should be able to play it, or you can go to the YouTube site, and then you will complete the Cornell Notes or focus note template here. And the essential question that you're trying to answer after viewing the video and collecting notes was, is Ted Bundy, does he exhibit the qualifications to have an antisocial personality disorder? Would you have evidence to support whether he is considered legally sane or legally insane? And that would be the whole idea. So in your notes, which you'll take in this section here, and I would just turn on the number keys so that you can just kind of number them. You want to get as much evidence about Ted Bundy's personal life, his background history, his modus operandi, if he used a signature, just as much detail as possible. That's primarily going to come from this video. You can get some of it from the introductory notes that are on the page above. So you want to get as much as possible here because you're going to use those notes for the essay reflection. And in this essay reflection, you've got 4 categories that I've outlined here that you will be providing evidence for and an opinion. So number 1, do you have evidence here for competency? So I would just simply click underneath there, either turn on a bullet or the number. You can go bulleting it or you can number it. It doesn't matter. I would probably just use bullets. And then I would just provide what evidence did I get from the focus notes or from the introductory notes that I may have as a forensic psychologist to determine whether or not Ted Bundy is competent to stand trial. What evidence do you have that he would be considered sane or insane? If you were working for the defense and the defense was trying to go for an insanity defense, do you have evidence to support that based upon what you would get? And remember, a lot of that information about what competency is, you can find in the introductory notes on forensic psychology, because I went through a whole thing about what competency was, what insanity was. And also I would refer back to this lecture here about personality disorders. And did your evidence show you that he used, what was his modus operandi? What was his motive for committing the crimes that he is accused of committing? What, if any, did he have any kind of signature left at the scene? And then finally, does he qualify to have an antisocial personality disorder? And does he have any comorbidities? Is there any other mental disorders that you may say, ooh, he kind of falls into this line too, even though I think this might be the primary diagnosis. So this isn't a essay in the sense that you're going to follow kind of English standards. It's more of a, can you provide evidence and an opinion? So your evidence on competency, is it yes, he's competent, or no? And this is my evidence for my reason. Is he sane or insane? This is my evidence for that, and so on and so forth. Then, of course, when finished, you can submit checkpoint 1. But again, when I'm looking at checkpoint 1, I'm looking at 2 things. I'm looking, did you take focus notes on the video? And then did you complete this reflection essay here about competency, insanity, etc. You will do the same thing for all of the different case checkpoints. So when you move on to Jeffrey Dahmer, and when you move on to Ed Gwynn, and so on. With that. Okay, so hopefully that will help explain how these checkpoints will be completed.